everybody, I'm Eating Things and you're watching Less Than Rhetorical, and today we're talking about the best deployable shield spots in Rainbow Six Siege for the game of, well, I just said, in Rainbow Six Siege. So in this video, I'm just going to be walking through a couple of spots in Chalet here, and maybe even look at a few other maps, try to give you guys a picture of some good deployable shield spots that you can use in your gameplay. What I've found for people who play in the game for solo queue is a lot of people don't value deployable shields. They'll bring a nitro cell, they'll bring impact grenades to make rotates, they'll bring maybe they bring smoke, which doesn't have a deployable shield, and for that purpose they just don't have the ability to put one down. But a deployable shield can make or break a round for you depending on your placement of that shield. And so I want to talk with you about how you can help your teammates that even though you don't play your deployable shield, your teammates can play your shield and can end up winning the round in clutch situations. And so let me show you a couple of spots that have worked very well for me. So first of all, and this one's a classic, you can bring a deployable shield. If you have a buddy to come play with you, this is great. 3 people makes this strat just really, really excellent. First of all, my recommendation, don't put a rotate on this side, put a rotate on this side. And you're gonna play this position over here. You're gonna put your deployable shield right, let me get it right. Let's see if I did this right. Oh my goodness. Didn't quite do it right. You're gonna put your deployable shield right over here, and the reason why I'm getting it so close here is because, almost, is because I want a pixel peek on this doorway. A lot of attackers like to come through this door late round after they've breached the wall over here, and now they're gonna come through this door here. That's perfect. This is exactly what you want. You put this shield down here, stack up 2 ADSs right here with a teammate, and you are set. You can sit on this shield and just hold this door throughout the round. If they breach this right over here, if you bring smoke, for example, your third player, they can play this shield and chuck smoke grenades here. If you bring recruit, like I'm bringing right here, you can pop up, shoot, maybe you can have a shotgun, your secondary shotgun, take gunfights with them. You've got a lot of different options to be able to defend from this position. And of course, if they try to clear the shield, it becomes very difficult to do so because they have the 2 ADSs that will catch Ash charges as it shoots toward the shield, and you know that's a pretty tough gunfight to take. Look at this. Can you see that pixel angle? I can't. And so you might be pointing your crosshair here, or even because of the way I've got this shield placed, you can actually peek from right up here and just be close to the wall as well. So there's 4 different places that someone can peek from. From here, above here, using the slats once you see their feet. Position your crosshair in between these 2 little bolts right here. Face the door and hop up. And if you're pre-firing during that, you're gonna kill them. It's actually a little bit lower. How about that? Face the door. All right. Okay, interesting. So it's changed a little bit. I used to position it in between here. It's actually right above this line right here. That's where you want to be aiming. You pop up and your head height, and you'll be able to get that kill. So just keep your crosshair low. Boom, you got it. But you can also peek out this way and this way right here. That's just too much for anybody to push. If you see a shield here and you've got ADSs stacked up here that you drone and you see, just don't push this way. That is way too much to clear, too difficult for most solo queuing rounds. All right, so that's a really good shield spot here. Let me show you another one. For this one, we're gonna go upstairs. I've actually seen some people place a shield up here, by the way. this is not a bad spot either. It can be a nice spot to play off of for this door. I just like the other spot better because it's more protected with ADSs. You could stack ADSs up on this wall right here, but anyway, that's just my preference. I don't recommend, you might think, well, I could put a shield anywhere. Maybe I could put a shield right here in this doorway. I don't recommend this. Let me explain why. It looks at first like a formidable shield, right? You've only got half of a person to shoot. You have to hit your headshots. But also, it's easier because now I know you're only going to be peeking at standing height. And I know where head level is. It's right here, a third of the way up at the door. And so since you're only going to be peeking me at standing height, I can look back here, and even with a one-time scope, I know I can keep my crosshair right here, and I know I'm going to get a kill. Because you can't stand up without peeking through here and ending up where my crosshair is. And so you can't shoot me on the left or right-hand side of that shield. So I know from a gunning perspective, it's easier for me to get a kill when a shield is in a doorway like this. And of course, if you didn't know it, there's a shadow right here that you can't really see, but this shadow from the light that comes from over here shows against this wall as anyone starts to, in fact, there it is right there. You see that shadow right there? That's your shadow, or it will be your shadow when you peek this doorway. So I know if there's a shield right here on a door like this, I know if I see a shadow, I need to be putting my crosshair on this side. So until I see that shadow, my crosshair is going to be right here, and I'm guaranteed a kill. And then if I see the shadow, I can just, well, maybe not like that, but there you go. Just flip over, and I'll be able to get the kill as well. So instead of doing that, you've got a couple of options. Personally, the best option is to back the shield up on a doorway like this, and then you can stack one of my discs or ADSs around the door frame, and then you've got the ability to peek from the left and the right and from above. And that makes this shield a much more formidable thing to come up against, though I don't necessarily recommend putting one there in blue. I was just giving you an illustration on the way up to the top site where there are a couple of shield spots we should talk about. One very popular shield spot, I do this one all the time when I'm streaming, is on top of the piano. Now, to get this right, you kind of have to stand in the middle of the piano and then kind of shimmy yourself to the left as far as you can. So I'm going to stand here, shimmy left, and then put it down. Now, the reason why I want to shimmy left is because the goal of this shield is to protect me from that window right there. And so now I can play safely right here and guard against anybody coming through there. As long as nobody's on this window here, it's a pretty safe spot. And even if somebody is, you can push up a little bit and you've still got cover from this window because of that shield. So that is the goal of this shield. Now, some people like to play it back here. It's not really the purpose of it, but you can play it from back here. You can also play it from above like this. And that's an off angle, a very odd angle to fight against if somebody was up there. It just gives that added level of difficulty for any attacker that's trying to come around here and has to reposition their gun upward on top of the piano. So that shield is very useful. It's very good. I recommend trying it out. Another shield spot that's really good, and I do this one sometimes too on the roam. Don't think shields just have to be in sight. You can also take them on the roam and use them in positions that give you an advantage while you're roaming. In this case, I reinforce this wall right here, or this wall, it doesn't matter. Just one of these two walls, open up the other one, and you can get a view onto the balcony, anybody that's trying to jump in from either direction. And you can kind of play a safe position here. If you reinforce this wall, and then open up something like this. Now you've got the ability to play this staircase as well. And you can kind of chill right here. As people shoot in, or throw in ADS, blah, blah, blah. As people throw in the Selma charges by Ace, you can shoot those off the wall. and then come back down. You could even take a fight with anybody who tries to jump in on the window. And you've got a pretty solid position right here. You do have to be aware of the walk up over here. You can always put some holes here to kind of watch and see, is anyone coming up from below, from the basement. And you can get a good picture. That's the bar door, by the way. You can get a good picture of what's going on down there from there, or you can just kind of sit back here and just kind of wait. And this is a good time-wasting strategy right here. Of course, you can reverse these, put a reinforcement here, open this up, reinforce here, and you've got a whole different strategy that you can play. You can still keep that shield there if you want, but it might not be to your best advantage. Maybe instead you can move it over here to cover you from the window. And now you can stay here and you can fight anybody out on this balcony over here in this window. So think about how you can use shields to your advantage to cover you from one direction so that you can hold a position that normally is more difficult to hold. I don't really like this shield that much. I think I like this one a lot better. So maybe try that one out in your gameplay and see what you can get of it. There's some other shields on Chalet, but let's admit it, those are the two sites that everybody plays. The rest of the sites, they're okay. You might get to them occasionally. I personally like kitchen dining a whole lot better. I like to play above. I like a castle strat on that site, but castle doesn't have a shield. So we're going to move on to another map. And I'll give you one more example of shield play. Oop. Here we go. So, oh no! Fail. Okay, I tried to change the map and instead I started the game. So we're gonna go over to the map Oregon. That's right, this is Chalet. We're going to Oregon, don't worry, I got you. Well, Tim, your editing of videos, oh my goodness. All right, when I move my controller to the left, sometimes it like auto locks. All right, anyway, you don't care. All right, let's move on. All right, create local, test, create as player. All right, we are gonna quickly look at the map Oregon. And I'm gonna show you two very important shield spots on the map Oregon. We're just gonna do this very quickly. And then we're gonna call it a day. So we're gonna start upstairs and I'm gonna show you this one real quick up here at the top of the upstairs site.
Locations are secure.
If you're not using this shield, I recommend it. A lot of people like to put a shield like here and you know, they'll kind of play like right in here, but as soon as that breach gets open, it's a little difficult to play here. I mean, you can kind of move it this way and play here, and it's not a bad position. But this shield right here, if you're not using this shield, you're crazy. So let me get it right about here. And the goal of this shield is to give you cover from the breach. But also, you can peek around here, and anybody that comes in, I need to get it right. I'm going to move it just slightly. I want to give myself just a little bit more room. Anybody that comes in, you've got the ability to take this gunfight right here as well. So this gives me cover from the breach. So once the breach gets open, which it always will get open, you can still play in attic. But remember, a good team will open up this. A good team will push in through here, open this up, and be pushing in bedroom side, and you'll be stuck in this crossfire. So you can't like play over here because then you'll be stuck to the person in bedroom. You can't safely play in this area right here because you're worried about the attic swing. So people will open up or rotate here and they'll back off. You can play in kids, but you got to worry about white, walk up, or somebody wall banging you from the the door over there. But if you reinforce this right here, you can really hold attic. You've only got one thing to look at, holding attic while playing right here behind this shield. And you don't have to worry about anybody swinging you from the breach because you're covered by the shield. And likely, you're not facing anybody who can clear this unless it's ace, in which case you can just kind of wrap around and shoot the Selmas. And you can still play safely kind of in this region over here as long as you're not exposing yourself to the window. So you can still play safely like over here and kill anybody as they try to walk into attic. It's a really good shield. Consider trying it out. You don't have to place it just like that. You might place it in different places. Maybe you place it just straight like this, and that's also possible, but that's a really good shield to try out. There's one more we're going to talk about, and that's in the basement. The basement site is a site that is great to play with shields. It's one of my favorites. I like to play this elbow area because it looks like an elbow. See that? So this is the elbow area. You stack up 2 ADSs right up here. And with all of these shield placements, you always want to be like behind a wall or somewhere where you can stack up Wamai discs or ADSs somewhere that makes it difficult for someone to clear the shield. You want to step back. It depends on where you put the rotate. If you reinforce this wall, you could certainly put the shield back further. If you reinforce this wall, you can put the shield up a little closer. I personally prefer to reinforce the wall as I've done. Or the one that I punched a hole in. Kind of set it up like here. You can get a nice little pixel right across here to anybody walking in the door. That gives you info that you can then swing off of. And you can play this shield if you've got a smoke player. You can help the smoke player out by putting your shield here. You go off, you play somewhere else. Your smoke player plays here. Honestly, you'd be real good if you put, reinforce that, reinforce this maybe to give yourself some cover. Play this doorway, have your smoke player play your shield. You bring a third person, puts your ADSs over there, your Jaeger, and they play maybe over in the hallway or inside a freezer. And between the 3 of you, you've got the entire site locked down and pretty good positions here to where people are not going to be able to push this site. I hope this has helped you guys think about the value of bringing shields. So next time you go play ranked, grab a shield. Grab one, go put it down, let your teammates play it, or you play it. Either way, it's a really good way to win rounds. Look through the slats, get information. It's like a portable Mira, just put it anywhere. And then help your team out by placing some ADSs next to their shield placements. These are good shields to use. I really hope that you use them all the time and win more games in the game of Rainbow Six Siege. Have a great one. Thank you very much for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.